Right, so today we're going to look at the ThermoPro Indoor Humidity and Temperature Monitor. TP55 is the model. And why do we need the ThermoPro Edge? The ThermoPro Edge is basically a hygrometer which is used in measuring the amount of water vapor that we've got in the soil, or the air, or in a confined space, for example, your basement, or just basically the amount of water vapor that you've got in the property. So basically, if you've got plants growing in the property, if the conditions are quite humid or too humid, that may promote the growth of mold or bacteria, and consequently, the plants may die, your crops may fail, and come up with things like the root or crown rot. Suffice to say, these conditions will stifle or impede the proper growth of your plants. So a high relative humidity indicates a high level of moisture in the air. So basically, without overemphasizing, water is a vital ingredient or a catalyst for mold or mildew formation. And that's why we must take cognizance of hot, humid environments. So basically, I'm going to set up the hygrometer. It comes with two AAA 1.5 volt batteries. And so you can table mount, wall socket mount, or use the magnet on the hygrometer to install on your refrigerator or any metal component. So here you can also see the air vent and air ducts that help with airflow, and that's your magnetic mount, and that's your wall socket mount. So assuming you had like a stud and a screw in the wall, you could install on the wall like that, or assuming this wall was a refrigerator that's got conductive metal bits there, you can use the magnets at the back of the hygrometer to attract the metallic bit component of the refrigerator. It doesn't have to be a refrigerator; it could be any um, metallic bit that attracts the magnets. So let's get this protective lead off and install the two AAA 1.5 volt batteries and get this hygrometer working. And whilst we do that, just take note that the four air duct or air vents that you see on both sides, pick up temperature, humidity, airflow, and that reflects consequently on the display monitor. And whilst installing the batteries, just make sure the batteries are in the right orientation with regards to or with respect to the polarities, and they're not in the reverse, orientation or polarity. Otherwise, you wouldn't get any power into the unit or circuit. And whilst we fit, the DC voltage into the unit, we should get some power onto the hygrometer. Right, so you can see the hygrometer here is displaying a quick synopsis of the relative humidity within the property. So here we can see that the humidity is about 55% and it's at the comfort level. So anywhere between 30 to 60% is your comfort level. And because it's brand new, you can see that arrow that, in the horizontal direction, which indicates that, it's bland. If there was an increase or decrease in humidity, both arrows in the horizontal orientation would be slightly curved upwards or downwards. And the bulb is just a backlight which turns blue. So on the synoptic screen, we've got about 55% humidity, which is at comfort level. And we've also got about 20.2 degrees centigrade for the room temperature. The temperature range capability spans from minus 50 degrees centigrade to about 70 degrees, whilst the humidity range capability for the hygrometer is anywhere between 10 to 99%. This device enables us to monitor the temperature and the humidity in real time, which can help prevent mold growth. Ambient or room temperature is anywhere between 15 to 25 up to 30 degrees centigrade, depending on climatic conditions and how well your room is well ventilated, clean or dry. But typically, your average room temperature should be anywhere between 20 degrees centigrade. So basically, the Fahrenheit centigrade button just helps you convert the temperature. So if we have a humidity of about 80%, it means that mold can start to grow at a surface temperature of about 12 to 13 degrees centigrade or less on walls, especially in corners or niches. So mold, being a living organism, grows well at temperatures between 15 to 26 degrees centigrade. But the general science behind molds is that mold grows in a wide or thrives in a wide range of medium temperatures. For example, black mold grows well at about 6 degrees as it does at 45 degrees. So the all-time button shows you the all-time humidity and temperature readings since the last reset, and the 24 hours button shows you the humidity and temperature readings since the last 24 hours reset, or in the last 24 hours. And if you want to reset the all-time readings or the 24 hours readings, all you need to do is to hold down the all-time button or the 24 hours button for about 3 seconds, and that resets the all-time readings or the last 24 hours readings. So I would say the hygrometer is an effective online monitoring systems device that can be used to keep track of the humidity and the temperature within a confined space. So what can we take from this device? Although this device helps us keep track of the humidity and temperature, but we can be sensible about little things, in the property. Just keep the rooms well ventilated. Just monitor the amount of water vapor that you've got in the air, as the amount of moisture in 1 cubic meter of air varies as a function of the air temperature. So warm air can absorb more moisture than cold air. So basically, at room temperature of about 20 degrees centigrade and a relative humidity of about 60%, 1 cubic meter of room air holds about 10 grams of water. And if we reduce this significantly to about 8 degrees, the room temperature, the air in the room can only absorb half the amount of moisture, which means that about 50% of the moisture escapes and precipitates as condensation water, mostly on the cooler outside walls. The refresh rate for this device is about 10 seconds, and as a duty of care, do not leave the device exposed to extreme high or low temperatures, as this will damage the electrical component or the electronics components and plastics. And if you've got the AAA batteries, the 2 of AAA batteries stored in the device for more than 4 months, and make sure you take it out. Otherwise, that could, have some battery leakage or lithium-ion battery leakage in the device. So if you're using the device, you're good to go. But if you're storing it away, make sure you take out the batteries, okay? Mold and mildew grows easily in showers and locker rooms when you have a high level of moisture in the air or high level of relative humidity. So when the relative humidity reaches the threshold value of 100%, excess moisture starts to condense and forms condensation water. The temperature at which condensation occurs, or this condensation, is called the dew point. The risk of mold, therefore, increases at this point. And that's why on hot and humid days or in the sauna, the air feels thick and heavy. Humid conditions invite the presence of pests, fungus, and also larvae, which feeds on plant roots and thrive in moist soil. So if we had a room temperature of about 20 degrees centigrade with a relative humidity of about 50%, the dew point would be about half the room temperature, which is about 9 or 10 degrees centigrade. And that's why it's important to keep the property well ventilated, turn on the extractor and cover your cooking pans when cooking, so that the water or the boiling water doesn't evaporate to steam and forms condensation on your walls. So as a rule of thumb, humidity can be regulated by correct ventilation behavior, kept at a pleasant level. If you found the information useful, don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and hopefully catch up with you soon. Have a good one. Bye.